Well, we are here with another case of Mental Case Dads podcast. I'm your crazy host, Mick Rage, joined here by my other crazy, Nolan Lederman. And man, do we have a show for, or woman, sorry, do we have a show for you? We have Precious Chong in the house. Hey, yeah. If you're watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening, hey, follow our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and that's all at Mental Case Dads. Let's get right to it. Precious, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
You like that? That's a nice one too. He's Nolan is actually.
What happened?
There you go.
There we go.
He's learning the soundboard for this is the second show that he's been doing the soundboard. Because normally we had somebody else doing it, or I was doing it, and I think he could do okay at it. I don't know. We might have to. I think he's doing. Are you doing all right with it?
Stop. Just stop right now.
So actually, the first. What happened? The first question I'm going to ask you is, what exciting things are you up to right now? You have to say it again.
we had I cooked fish for dinner.
What?
No way.
I took in my Toyota Prius to get a recall fix.
Oh, well.
Wait. Well,
he's a car guy.
You're learning guitar.
I'm learning guitar.
Yeah, mind reader. Mind blown.
What?
How did you know that, Nolan?
Because Precious and I, we're right now, we've got it going on.
You're intertwined. You're synced.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Vibed it.
It's a guitar riff that I'm learning. That it's called. Today I learned "Smoke on the Water."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can't remember how it goes.
So do you have a guitar?
I do that on my bass. I love it.
Yeah. Do you have a guitar with you right now?
It's downstairs, and there's no way I'm going to do it for you.
And not a chance, eh?
Not a chance. But it's fun because it's like I'm a teenage boy, so it's really fun for me to learn all these. Yeah. I understand why they get so into it. I'm
absolutely.
This is
but see, most teenage boys do it for a different reason, right? So I think you're doing it to learn. The teenage boys are learning it for a completely different reason.
That's true. Yeah.
Nonetheless, that's super cool.
I'm learning guitar, and it's actually for a project. It's a movie that I wrote this with Zach Gain, and we did another movie that just got released called Homewrecker.
Yes.
That is, you can rent on YouTube and Google and all that all that stuff. And so we wrote another movie together that we were hoping to shoot in October, but it'll probably be in the spring. And in that movie, I have an alter ego that plays guitar. So I'm learning to play guitar for that. It's also fun.
Awesome.
That's a little. I would love to learn how to play the guitar. I had a stroke a few years back, and my one side is kind of gimpy, but I think I've got enough dexterity in the one hand that I could still strum.
No,
right?
No,
yeah,
why not try?
You don't need a lot on one hand.
I would love to play, but I just don't. I don't have the time.
Brain memory. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Not easy.
It'll keep you busy too.
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of practice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're doing your comedy routine, say if you're on stage or whatever, and I'm sure every comic has had an experience where they've dealt with a heckler or somebody like that. Have you ever had to deal with that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It is something you have to deal with all the time, eh?
Not all the time. Well, lately we haven't been performing at all. I mean, I just did my first live show 2 weeks ago.
Very good.
Great.
So it was so fun. I teach stand up and I've been teaching it via Zoom. And a lot of people I've been teaching, they've only experienced comedy via Zoom, and I'm like, it's not the same at all.
No, you have to have an audience.
It doesn't feel the same. The timing is different. How do you deal with hecklers? I mean, I'm not amazingly smart and witty at
comebacks and stuff like that.
Back at them, but I usually just try and make them feel bad.
Yeah, that's that's the way you have to go, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just a single mom trying to do some comedy.
Just trying to do my job, jackass. Sit down.
It's a weird thing. You know what it is? It's like a lot of times the hecklers, they just want to be a part of the show. So sometimes you got to like let them have a little time, but it's I think sometimes people think stand-up or comedy in general is just you talking up there and you're not really doing an act because it seems like that. But when they interrupt you, it kind of ruins the flow of your joke.
It takes you out of your mojo, right? Like there's a flow, right? And if you distract, especially for somebody like me, bipolar and ADHD, like I'm completely. If you get me off topic, it's hard for me to get back. I'd have to have somebody in the audience say, "Oh, you were talking about this." Okay.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I forget everything all the time. So it can be hard, but sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's crazy. I mean, it depends on the situation and why you're hired. You know, a lot of times I've done shows for like weed oriented stuff because of my dad and my background. And one time there was a guy who was yelling a lot, but I was hired to do a show for like a weed magazine, and he was part of the weed magazine. So you don't want to be rude, but you also have to do your job. I don't know. It's a fine line.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, Precious Chong is Tommy Chong's daughter, and I was going to ask you a question about this later. You know what? I am going to ask you a question about this later because...
okay. Whatever you want. I don't care either way. People are interested in it. I don't mind talking about it.
Well, I mean, your dad is the token... I probably have more pictures in this studio of your father than I do of my own family, so it is funny.
He's like your dad, too.
Yeah, he's just like my dad. We're like brother and sister, absolutely.
He's mixed Dalai Lama.
Yeah, but being...
he's a lot of guys, Dalai Lama.
I have read up a little bit about you, and I'm sure there's a great story here. So, being an holy crap. Did I get into any of that stuff myself today?
I don't know.
I did. Anyway, but being an entertainer, no matter what, it's hard. It's a bump and grind. You're always pushing to do better, and sometimes you have to take crappy, shitty jobs, right, to get by. You have been a bikini dancer. There's one of them. And the other one, I know there is.
Really did the research.
There is another one that I'm sure there's a story about it, but you did a car show, and for people signing up credit cards.
I don't even know what Yes. Oh my God. Low point in my life, but I did get a character out of it.
Good.
Yeah, it was like my first year in Toronto, 2008. I did the car show. I had just broken up. I was going through a divorce. It was just the pits. But what was the question? Did you want to have a story about that one?
Yes, I knew there'd be a story, so I wanted to know what, because you wrote, or I heard it, that you said it was the worst job you have ever done. Why is that the worst job?
Well, first of all...
Did somebody say something or do something, or you just had it with people in general?
It was just the whole dehumanizing experience of it. It was like 10 hours. You know, it's in one of that huge convention center.
Yep, Toronto Convention Center.
It's cement. Okay, I have a competition. There's that, and there was another job that was similar, but just as bad.
Okay.
But, so you're on cement and and you're trying to sign people up for something that's kind of mean. Like basically they're going to affect their credit by signing up for this credit card, but you're conning them into doing that.
Yeah.
But then there was me watching the women who are like selling the cars. Like they would be like the 2008 Ford Dynasty. And they were so into it that I was mesmerized by their passion.
Yeah.
That I created a character that was this like repressed lesbian who was selling a car. And she was like,
yeah.
starts selling it, and then she goes into this sort of retrospective of being in the 80s, and it's a strange thing, and being in love with her best friend, and that song Boys of Summer, that you remember that song?
Yep.
After the
yeah, Don Henley.
Sing it, Nolan. Do you sing it?
I haven't done singing.
Nolan, can you carry it to me? Look at that. Listen.
Down in the sun.
Yeah. Right.
She's right. That's the song.
Wait, isn't it Don Henley do it, the original one?
Yeah, Don Henley.
And then there was another one that was like a 90s
I have
version.
no idea the song you're talking about.
I think you're right, Precious. I think it was redone.
Yes.
And I'm not sure by who, but
you don't know what song it is?
No.
Oh, my singing is so bad. I'm sorry. You know this song. Believe me, you know this song.
Oh man,
It doesn't matter. Okay.
I probably know.
But I wish I had a better story from that one. But then I also sold magazine subscriptions at a home show.
That's
good
fun.
one. Good one.
This crazy, the lady who hired us was like this insane woman who was addicted to diet pills.
Wonderful.
And
Maybe we can get her number after the show, and I could probably go on some of these diet pills.
she was nuts. She was nuts. And she'd be like, you needed to sell a certain amount to make it. I mean, it was just the worst job. And no one has magazines anymore. It was like, it was just,
That's funny.
So it hasn't been necessarily an easy, well-paved road, is what you're telling us.
Yeah, I don't think so, eh?
No, that was just that was the year, because there was the financial crisis, and I moved to Toronto, and a lot of the jobs that I did really kind of like they stopped. I do a lot of commercials, and they weren't doing a lot of commercials because those are the things that kind of fall by the wayside during that time.
Right.
But now, I'm doing okay now. They just become good stories and great material.
Sure, there.
And you get material, you get good characters out of them. It's life experience, right?
And that's it. Out of something bad, if you can find the good, you're ahead of it.
Well, yeah, that's my game, man.
I mean, it all becomes a bit, really. That's the beauty of writing and comedy, is because you can use all of it as
it seems to be a common theme with the comedians that we've spoken to. I remember Anne-Marie was saying the same thing, where you take that what seems to be a negative at the time, and it turns into an absolute positive,
into an act. Yeah,
it turns into
creates money.
Yeah, you make money from it.
Yeah,
I mean, even my dad did that. My dad says his story was like just before he got arrested, like they raided my parents' house and he went to jail for bongs. Like
years ago. Yeah.
Just before that, he remembers going, you know what? I need a thing to boost my career. And he really thinks that he manifested that, because after that, he wrote a book, and he became more in the, he became more in the eye of, the culture where he hadn't been before that. I mean, not to say that it was good that he went to jail, but, he definitely
he took something from it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He grew from it.
Yeah.
Where I think if I went to jail, I just hibernate in a corner and cry the entire time.
Yeah,
I think he did that
survive.
As well, but he did end up writing a book about it, and he got a lot of
he turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah. Now, Nolan, you had brought up the fact that we had Anne-Marie Schiffler on.
Yeah, Anne-Marie is great.
It's funny.
Love
That's
Anne-Marie.
how we had gotten to know who you were, Precious, was through Anne-Marie. She had spoken about a story about you guys were pregnant at the same time, and how she had gotten a jammies or something, right? And that's when she's like, "Oh, do you know who Tommy Chong is?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, I was dumbfounded, and she's like, "Yeah, well, it's her daughter, and she's a comedian, and it's perfect because this show, we like to have a lot of comedians on here and have a good time, and it's been a really good blessing for us to meet new people always, and we've just been progressively getting better. Well, I have. Nolan's been sitting here doing.
I plateaued.
He's done shit
I peaked. I think I peaked.
He has done nothing.
It's all done.
But it's funny.
Anne-Marie and I had a lot in common. We both were pregnant around the same time. We both met and got pregnant and married men very quickly.
Yeah.
So we were just like, it was almost like, so we were very similar trajectories,
Yeah.
and we both were like, so there was, and her son was a little bit older than mine. So I remember asking her, like, how are you doing it? Like auditioning and having a baby.
Yeah.
And she kind of gave me hope that there was,
there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's hard. Like as a woman, it's hard to juggle both. And it really does. Like, you think that you can do it all, but like it does, your career does take a bit of a hit for a couple of years when you have a kid. It's just how it is. But yeah, she was definitely, and we also both did solo shows. I mean, we had so much in common. She was one of the first people in Toronto that I became good friends with.
Yeah. She was awesome. She's been great to us and
fantastic person.
Yeah, great.
Really
she's so
having
talented and
very talented woman. Yeah. So hey, Anne-Marie, a shout out to you. Yes, for sure.
Okay,
you got something?
Yeah, you know what? I got something. Come on, it's like burning holes in my pocket, and like everybody's waiting for it.
Spit it out.
All right, Precious. What was it like growing up, Chong?
Growing up, Chong.
What was it like?
Well, that's actually, that's my next question here too. I said, what's it like, especially in the 70s and 80s when you would have been a kid?
As a child? Like, did you realize who your dad was? Like, did you as it evolved and the whole Cheech and Chong thing? Like, were you in tune with what was happening, or when did it kind of click in?
It's a strange thing because it was like I always. Because the church, me growing up. So my dad and Cheech, when they first got together, so I was like, 2 or 3. When I was born, my dad was a musician with Motown. So, and I think I was 2 when he met Cheech, and then we moved to Venice, California, when I think I was like 3 or 4, and then they became famous around. I was like 5 or 6, they started to make money. So I remember moving into progressively better apartments and then a big mansion in Zuma. Like it was very fast.
Quick.
And then I remember being in preschool and people were like, what does your dad do? And I'm like, he's a comedian. And no one knew what that was.
Yeah. What's a comedian?
And then I also went on the road with them when they were doing shows, which I loved. It was fun to like travel to different places, and then they would perform. So I used to, and my parents were very, they were hippies, so they let me watch the show. Probably shouldn't have, but I didn't understand any of the humor because I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But my mom used to say, because he had this sketch what he did with Cheech where he is an old man in the Chicano and he pretends to have a heart attack and die, and I used to get very upset, so my mom would have to take me out for that. But I also remember, I remember seeing billboards of my dad's and Cheech's movies on Sunset Boulevard. So I was always aware. It just was how
it was part of your life.
Is he Uncle Cheech, or like? Was it that entwined?
Were they
definitely like it's family.
Were they that tight? Yeah.
But
I would assume so.
They're like family, like they don't always like, we don't do all the holidays with him or like, and there were years when we didn't talk to Cheech because my dad and him weren't talking.
Yeah.
Which is common. These things happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cheech is like, I've known him my entire life. He's,
Yeah.
He is family.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
cool.
so talented and funny, and really it's surreal. Like I remember being little and being like, why are they giving my dad and Cheech all this money to make these movies? Even as a kid, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like but it was this early 80s, and everyone was doing a lot of coke, and there was a ton of money going around, and my dad had this great manager, and they were just like, we want to do another movie. It's going to be about this.
I think their movies for that time and age were perfect. It fit so well. And that's why they made it so big. It was that time, right? Do you think those movies would do as well nowadays? I think if they were to do something, I think it would gravitate to us. But
that there was nothing like what they did.
Oh, no, it was very cutting edge. It was.
Yeah, they were definitely the first for sure.
my dad and Cheech would do open mics around LA. This is a funny story. And they didn't have a car. They had a motor scooter, and they would wear all their costumes on their bodies.
So layered.
Oh,
and
wow.
they would go and do these open mics around LA. And a lot of times people would be so offended by their material, they would run out. Like no one was doing counterculture stuff. This was like hugely different.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about it because it's so much in our
They were ahead of their time.
Way ahead of their time.
Way ahead of their time.
Yeah, it was because like Beavis and Butthead and all that stuff is all that pot humor is, I guess Lenny Bruce was the first sort of druggy kind, not druggy, but like a subversive comedian.
Yeah.
And I know this is becoming a podcast about my dad, but whatever. So my dad met this guy, Tony Viscara, who was married to Lenny Bruce's mom, and he saw him in Cheech early days, and he was like, he really connected with what they were doing because it was sort of what Lenny Bruce was doing early on. It was like so, edgy and pushing the envelope and upsetting people. So I think so to answer your question, I'm sure there are people doing something that's similar to what they were doing, but they were at the time in terms of pushing boundaries. But what they were doing at the time was kind of different.
I know probably everybody, or if not everybody, a lot of the people that you speak to, they ask about your dad. But this podcast is about you. So thank you for answering that. But now let's get back to Precious.
Actually, I haven't.
I honestly don't mind because I don't mind because I think I've gotten older and it's just I have more of an identity, so it doesn't upset me. And then I also have an appreciation of what they have done in their careers as I've done my career. And
that's what I was going to ask you actually next. How did your identity, how did that evolve with the influence that you had growing up?
How much?
How much of what Precious is today is influenced from back in the 70s and 80s and growing up, around Cheech and Chong and that whole thing and being on the road? How much of that is what you are today? Or is it really separated? Is there...
a lot of it, okay, so not uncommon. I wanted to rebel from my parents. And so I wanted
like
to be
all of us,
normal. Yep. And I wanted to be very normal.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college. I went to university. I was a straight A student. I thought I would have like a normal life. And then I realized that, performing and that was speaking to me, but I didn't really want to do I had to come to it on my own. I didn't want to do it just because my parents, actually it gave me an aversion to it. So it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I do want to be a performer as well. And then even longer to come to terms with the fact that comedy is actually my thing. And I'm sure that comes from my dad. But I wanted to have my own path. So I thought I was going to be like this serious actress and like write screenplays and I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but
I
remembered something else I wanted to talk about the thing about growing up Chong, which is really fun. And yes, I did get high with my dad and you can read about it. It's fine. And yes, my parents did acid when I was like 3 or 4 and took me to the movies. And I remember that.
Oh, wow.
So I had like a very typical hippie upbringing. But what I have to like being a kid of parents of a dad who's a counterculture feels dangerous because, going through customs was always, they always judged him for his long hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally see it. All right, the next guy coming through, we're definitely pulling him in. I don't even have to talk to him. His eyes are red. Pull him in.
Little things like when I was little, they wouldn't let my dad go into Disneyland because he had long hair. Like you guys don't remember.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him go into Disneyland. You know what? I
Yeah.
knew they were jackasses.
That's
It's funny.
crazy.
It's funny to think about, but as a kid, it's a different perspective. So you realize you're like, oh wow, my parents are different, and people judge them, and
Yeah.
it's so So it's a different perspective.
I
but
totally
it's
get that.
cool.
I grew up in a very religious family, so it doesn't matter if you're a hippie or you're a church boy. You're getting judged all the time anyway. So, right? I mean, I don't do that now. Well, do I judge people? I guess sometimes I do. I think we all do. As much as we don't want to judge people, it's in our nature, especially as a comedian. I'm going to pick you apart. It's not because I want to hurt you. It's because I want to make the people around you laugh.
Yeah, I mean, we
Not
punch.
personal.
We punch. Was it punch down? We don't want to punch down. We punch up.
We punch up.
Hopefully, we are making fun of people like who are in power. And yeah, I guess everyone has to deal with the same shit. So basically, to answer your question in the most long-winded way, my upbringing was like yours, except think of it with pot
With pot, yeah.
and fame.
And fame, yes, that helped too, right? Well, fame doesn't always help your everyday life. It's just nice when the money's there on the side, right? That helps. But I actually have an idea for you. I was sitting in here the other night, and this studio that we're in right now is actually in my garage at my house. And we have just built it up and turned it into a studio. So it's also my man cave. I come out here and I just chill out. You know, I'll smoke or I'll hit a bowl or something. And I'm out here and I'm sitting here. I'm actually getting ready. I'm doing some of these questions to get ready for the show for you, Precious. And I'm like, shit, I got an idea for her. So here's the idea. I don't know if you've ever seen this show. Do you know who Jack Whitehall is?
No.
Okay, he's a comedian. He's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you can see him. But he takes his dad around the world and takes him to these weird things. So he goes and eats really weird food. Or he took him into this, it was like this hot yoga thing, but you had to be completely nude. He took it. And now his dad is...
Don't do it, Precious.
Yeah, his dad is completely like very prim and proper. They're from the UK. Very, very funny. And I'm like, shit, can you imagine Precious and Tommy doing that? Oh, I'd piss myself. I think you guys should do something like that and record everything.
Have you guys ever done something together?
Yes, they have.
Yes, he's been in. I've done sketches on Funny or Die. Me and Melissa Story, another comedian.
Yep.
And yeah, he's been in a couple of our sketches. I played Nancy Grace interviewing him. Yeah, he's wonderful. He's really game.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he was really gay, but I know your dad's not gay. He's got your mom is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You're very gorgeous.
Thank you.
So he's definitely got good taste in women too. How long have your parents been married?
Well, they didn't get married.
Well, they've been together forever. Yes.
Forever.
Forever.
And yeah, she's his. Yeah. She's his trophy wife, but she just looks younger than him. But yeah.
she's a doll. I was watching her trying to get a $100 bill from a pop bottle the other night. I was dying laughing that your dad had posted on Instagram. Anyway, but yeah,
they're Instagram stories. Oh my God, my dad is so into social media.
He is
hilarious.
all over that.
Really?
Right? Oh yeah, I'm dying laughing. Oh yeah, he's killing me. So, but
he's on Twitter, like about Trump. He hates Trump, and
yeah, that's my boy. Not
and
Trump.
he's on
I can't stand that
Instagram
prick.
Getting high with his fans. He has like these. He loves it. He's been doing a lot of cameos lately.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's good. So, now this is how far I dug into who Precious Chong was. Okay,
I'm so scared.
You have
Be frightened.
you have a passion of yours, and I have a little bit of a story after I ask you about it. But you are a huge ballet fan, correct?
I am.
See,
I love ballet.
And what brought you to ballet?
Well, I took dance from when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's why I never learned. Like, I didn't really take it to an instrument. I would just go to dance class, and
Yep.
that was my first love. Like, I wanted to be a ballerina.
Now,
And then I went to New York when I was 13, and I think my head was too big. Literally.
Yeah, I wanted to be a ballerina too, and they told me my belly was too big.
Oh yeah. So yeah, ballet was I still take class. I love it.
That's
I love
funny.
ballet.
I remember
ballet too.
being in grade 5, and we had went on a school trip. It was downtown Toronto, and that's when I fell in love with the ballet. I saw Karen Kane for the first time, and at that time, she was the biggest ballerina star probably in the world, especially in Canada. But obviously, you would know who Karen Kane is, correct? Sorry
Yes,
about
I
that.
do. I do know who Karen Kane is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I started watching the ballet, and then my wife and I will go and
every
see.
day.
We love going to see certain shows, and whether it be the ballet, whether it be what's those musician shows like what was the last one we just saw? The Newfie one, Come Away, Come From Away,
Come From Away.
Come From
Come From
Away.
Away.
Oh
Right,
my
Seen
god,
that.
that is
I haven't seen-
so good. If you haven't,
Now we can't see
now it's
anything,
hard to
but
see.
You're
But
lucky you saw it.
it was
the
so good.
last show I saw just before the pandemic, the quarantine, Hamilton. I got to see Hamilton.
Yeah, actually, they put Disney Plus just put Hamilton on their media platform.
Oh.
and
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my watch list, but it's a live performance as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about that?
I heard it's
Which is
really
cool.
good. I heard it's pretty good.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I heard a couple of people complaining about it. I think it was actually Trump that was complaining about it because
Of
they're
course.
like, "Well, how are they allowed to put stuff on because they're spitting?" And kiss my ass, you frickin' Cheeto. Oh, he just drives me up the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is annoying.
He is a little bit of annoying. But hey, aren't we all? Look at this guy. He's dazed and confused sitting here.
What
Do
happened?
you,
Yeah,
do, you,
where's-
do you see what I have to put up with? Do you see?
He
I
doesn't
see
see
it.
anything.
It's not right.
Yeah. Why didn't
Everybody's seeing
you?
now.
Why didn't you become a dancer? Did you want to become a dancer?
Her head was too big, remember?
Other than the fact that your head was too big.
I was a bikini dancer, so I was a dancer. I was a dancer briefly.
Now,
in my
bikini
early
dancer
20s.
did say one day. You
What
were-
is a bikini dancer?
It's exactly what you
Well, it
hear.
was a very short-lived career. It was one night. Okay, do you want the long story or the short story?
Like, you give me both stories.
You give me your story. Was it like
So
in a
what-
tiki hut or something?
What?
Was it in like a tiki? I just pictured this in like a tiki hut. A bikini dancer in a tiki hut or something. I don't know.
Kind of. It's still there in LA, but I think they do topless or nude now. So when I worked at a new age bookstore in LA after I finished university called the Bodhi Tree, and I met this, and one of the girls who worked there became friends with me. And then I went to Japan and I was dancing there in a
Cool.
show, like a regular show.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I came back and she was really exploring her sexuality. So she wanted to be a stripper. So she was working at this place called Crazy Girls. That was the name of this.
Yeah. I don't even think you could name that.
gosh.
You could have a bar named Crazy Girls anymore. Right?
So
Keep
I was
going.
like, she was like, it's amazing. You know, you just dance and you're not nude. You're just wearing a bikini and you make tips. And I was like, oh, that's better than waitressing. So I auditioned. And of course, you know, I aced my audition. And then I worked there and I was like, oh no, like this is not my people. Like,
What have I done? Instant
one
regret.
girl was doing coke in the bathroom. The other girl was having an affair with Kiefer Sutherland when he was engaged to Julia Roberts. It was so much scandal.
Wow.
And okay, the reason this isn't my stand-up. The reason I quit was literally I was not in shape enough. Like it was so much work.
Oh, right. Yeah, forget this shit, right? Yeah, I hear you, girl.
I wasn't even making that many tips, so I was like, I'd rather waitress. So I quit. I quit through after like half the night because I thought it would be like burlesque, and that actually happened a couple years later. But at the time, it was just like pretty gross. So yeah, that was my night as a bikini dancer, and
wonderful.
Coincidentally, I was also working. I would do kids' birthday parties as well at that time. So
Not as a
I thought it
bikini
would be
dancer, I hope.
very funny to be like Snow White in the day and a
Yeah,
Yeah.
dancer at night.
that's awesome. What is it that one thing? what makes you proud? Is it a certain piece of art that you've done, like a play or a show or an act? Is it a person? What completely makes you proud as a person?
Well, it's okay. So I have my kid, my son. He's 15, but really, it's I made a movie. I had a goal to make a movie, and I did, and we made Homewrecker.
Yep.
And taking my son to go see the movie and him enjoying it was really, and my parents, they came and saw it, and it was very gratifying to me.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's the combination. It's nice. Like being creative and making something, and then having someone I love and care about be into it.
Watching them enjoy it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really into. Honestly, I to a fault, I'm into making things. Like I feel most alive when I'm like, writing something and making something and shooting something. I like to do commercials and I like to get gigs on TV shows, but I really do love to make my own stuff and, have a vision and, take it to, and then have an audience watch it and react to it. It's really exciting. So
for me, I'm a new comedian. Well, I've always been a comic in the sense that I've been. I always tell jokes. I always make people laugh. Doesn't matter if I'm at work or I'm at home or it doesn't matter what. How do I stay? I have a hard time staying focused when it comes to writing. Like to sit down in here and actually sit and write a sketch.
So hard.
It is
so hard.
It's so hard. It doesn't change.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
I get it. I'm totally ADD about that.
Yeah.
I find having someone collaborating with someone helps.
Okay. Yeah.
Booking shows that you have to do, so you have to write.
Yeah, Anne-Marie said the same thing. Time slots. Mm-hmm. It comes down to
she as much.
You're not alone. A lot of comedians, and this made me feel better when I was first starting out doing stand up. A lot of comedians write their set list on the way to the gig. You know what I mean? They really procrastinate till the last thing.
So I don't have to feel so bad then.
No.
But like you a lot of writing happens on stage. That's why open mics are so valuable.
Yes.
Like you can write on your own, but you don't know what your material really is until you hear it in front of an audience and know what's funny.
Yeah.
Because what you think is funny,
somebody else might not. Absolutely. And I think it depends on the crowd, right? You could hit a really hot spot and be very funny at one place, go to the next, have the same routine, and it not be the same. It's just not the same, right? Those people won't laugh. The other people will. It's hard to read a room sometimes.
You do, yeah, and that's why. I mean, that's what's been so tough to all the comedians because it's like not being able to perform as much, and like, I mean, I think Zoom shows like you just have to find your content where you can get it. And what was the other thing I was going to say about? Record your sets. You got to record your sets on your phone.
Okay.
Always record your sets because that's how the audience will laugh and then they tell you what's funny. Like the audience will be the last person.
Good to know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who is it? Someone else told me that. Maria Bamford, I think, says to record your set. Well, a lot of comedians do. But it's a really valuable tool. A lot of times you can record your sets and not listen to it for a while, but when you do, you record it, you write it out, and then keep working on it. Yeah, that's the best advice
I've actually had a couple of comedians actually tell me too. If you like when you start writing your sets and you could drop a certain word and it be okay funny. But then in the next show, you could be like, oh, if I added this word, it might hit better, and then change it and see. You can play with certain words and things like that. I mean, it's all really a gamble, I guess, until you get up on stage and hopefully people laugh at you.
But when you're dealing with words, and that's I guess exactly what we're dealing with. You change one word, it can change its meaning too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that in itself can change the desired response you get from the crowd.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely. No,
it's like you're basically like looking for gold, and you get a lot of like nothing. You got a lot of rocks, but you just have to like you have to be kind of. It's a laborious process. People who are really into comedy, they're relentless. They just are constantly fine tuning and finding different things. Yeah.
Sure. The only thing that sucks right now is you can't get stage time, especially if you're a beginner.
No.
Yeah, it is hard.
Right.
But then the other thing to that is you got to make your own show. You got to just do your own show. And like you're doing a podcast. Yeah. You just got to, especially nowadays, you just make it as easy as possible.
This will be our platform for sure. And then who knows what the future holds. Like I said, we keep meeting more and more interesting and new people, and we'll push through. And this is how we'll make people laugh for now, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're watching YouTube, they can just stare at him.
Amazing comedian. I'm totally tooting. Sam, do you know Sam Morrell?
I do not.
Do you do?
No, I don't.
Okay, he's such a good comedy writer. He's young. He just writes really, like when I say clean, I mean he just is Sam Morril. He just is his joke structure. His jokes are just like you see the setup, you see the punchline. It's just like bam. It's so crisp, and it looks so simple. And you're just like, I wish I could write like that. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's fun to see that comedy. It's really
I'll have to check them out for sure.
I think it's kind of like ballet. It's like it's an art that you can work on till you die.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as perfection. It's an ongoing.
I every time I look in the mirror is perfection. What are you laughing at?
A legend in his own.
You know what? Self-love is better than none.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, do you love me?
I love you.
You love me. That's good. Precious, thank you so much for being on our show.
We really appreciate your time.
I don't know how many thanks I can say. It's been so good.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've had a great time. And
it was so fun. I loved it.
Good. And I always tell this to my guests. The first time you come on the show, you're a guest. The second time, your family. And we would definitely love to have you back. I have one other thing to ask of you before you go.
Sure.
If you could, in your own words, tell us your experience with mental case dads.
It's okay to lie.
And it's encouraged. It's absolutely encouraged to embellish and lie as much as you can.
Guys, you had me at what happened. I was like, oh,
you like the what happened?
Where's her what happened?
What happened?
What happened? We got one of them out of him.
That makes me happy. It's been a pleasure. I hope I didn't talk too much about my dad.
No, you know what? It's one of those things, Precious, where I'll be honest with you. Mick and I, we went back and forth about this quite some bit, where, it's just so great to have you on the show, but you'd be remiss not to bring up Tommy, your dad. But at the same time, you know what? We're interested in you. And the fact that your father happens to be Tommy Chong is like an icing on the cake. It's a great added bonus, but we didn't really want to make it all about Tommy because
we wanted to make it about Precious. Yes.
Yeah, because what's
I don't feel that at all.
Good.
I really don't.
Because
I want to plug two things. So
sure.
You can watch the movie that I was talking about, Homewrecker.
Yeah.
You can watch it on you can buy it on YouTube or Google or Amazon Prime, especially in the States. Homewrecker, and it's a horror movie. And make sure you see me with a knife. There's another one that's more like a porno, so don't buy that one. Buy mine. And then
I might get two of them,
or both, whatever you're into.
You get a 2-for-1 deal.
I don't know when this comes out, but Melissa Story and I do a monthly show at Comedy Bar called Story with Chong, and we're doing one this Sunday, September 13th at 7 p.m. if you want to check it out.
Perfect.
Precious, thank you so much for your time today. We wish you the best of luck and every endeavor you have going now and in the future and the whole thing. You're just a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. It was really fun.
You know what? Do you still smoke weed?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the edibles now to sleep.
But the odd time do you smoke weed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also do a wacky tobacco. I'm gonna, me and you will have a smoke chest one time, and we'll set it up in the future, and I will stay in contact. But there we go. Listen,
I was gonna clean my room until I got.
All right, thank you so much, Precious. You've been an absolute. I can't even talk straight. I even said to Nolan before the show started, I said, I got a little nerves going. I'm kind of...
He was Precious. Yeah. He was nervous about you coming on.
So, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Precious.
Nothing but the best.
Fun, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, anytime.
Absolutely.
All right, that was Precious Chong, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
Wow.
Beautiful lady.
You know what I love? I love the fact that she's blazed her own trail.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, you never. Well, you know what? You never know. Well, you never know. And that's one of the things. Like, why we ask the question. I mean, sure, it's great to hear some stories about Tommy and her growing up with that. But I really wanted to know, you know, and I had no preconceived notion of whether she had or hadn't. But did she come up?
You got it off.
Did she come on her dad's coattails, or did she? Doing her own.
No, she did it all
as soon as she said how she rebelled against it and then found her own way into it, you know what? All the respect. Yeah,
sometimes you're just meant to do something, right?
Oh yeah. So, and I said that before. We do kind of what we want to do until it's time to do what we were meant to do.
You should be what do you call it? One of those motivational speech guys.
You know, it's funny. I mean, Precious definitely spoke about it. I know Anne-Marie has spoken about it. We've heard it a few times about that feeling you get, that they get when they're in front of a camera or in front of a live audience. And like you found out, you know, I did that season of Man Tracker. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's small potatoes compared to that. But let me tell you something. It is a high.
I can imagine.
And at the time I lived in Bowmanville, in a small town. I got news for you. Because at the time, so Bonterra Productions, so it was airing on TLN. It was picked up by City TV and in the States on Space, the Space Network. And I'm telling you, after our premiere airing, I would say probably within about 4 weeks, it had immediately, and still is, the most rerun episode of Man Tracker.
Really? Well, that's because you've got it on loop, you jackass.
No, I couldn't. I'd go to the bank. Everywhere I went, I'd be sitting at dinner. Hey, you're the guy from Man Tracker. And at first it was cool. It was like, yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, I am.
Were these guys hitting on you, or?
No, but it became annoying.
Really?
Yeah, it got to a point after about a month or two.
I don't get that from you. I figured you'd be like, yeah,
I did at first. I won't lie. At first, it was like, this is wow.
It's a cool feeling.
People coming up in the line at the bank.
You felt like you're famous.
It was like, yeah. And then after, it was like, no, I get that a lot, but it wasn't me. Yeah. Right? And that's what it was like. Emails. It got to a point where I didn't have to find out that we were being rerun. I just see my inbox on Facebook inundated with either hate mail or love mail.
Really? Why were people hating on you for?
You get everything from nude pictures to I'm going to come up there to Canada and I'm going to kill you.
Wiener pics? Did you get any wiener pics?
I didn't, but my partner Angie did.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, this Angie person that you tracked with, was this a girlfriend or something? Or an acquaintance or a worker?
No. Well, at the time, she was actually my sensei and became my business partner in the dojo.
Wow. So she could kick your ass, too.
Yeah, 7th degree black belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What degree are you?
Second
degree. How does that work? Like, how do you move up a degree?
Well, you get tested.
For AIDS?
I just can't. I can't.
What?
This is no conversation. I can't. I don't even know what the hell. No, it's based on it's not something like you sign up for a test. It's based on time. It's based on experience. And your sensei, your teacher, they will tell you.
We should do that. We should go on like Amazing Race.
Oh fuck!
You'd have to drag my ass every.
I was gonna say you drag my ass.
People, I think it would be good. I think it'd be funny.
How far do you really believe we would make it?
To the end, motherfucker.
You think we get past day one?
Why not?
Really?
You're judging a book by its cover, bitch. I can get my knees up when I need to.
Yeah. On my back.
No, man.
It's going to be like the Navy SEAL carry. I'm going to have you over my shoulder.
I would train. I would train real hard. I'd eat as many donuts as I can. That's actually a lie. I don't remember the last time I had a donut. I don't eat donuts. I don't fucking go to Tim Hortons anymore or shit like that.
Good Boston cream.
Because I stopped drinking coffee.
Oh.
And yeah, it's been shit, man. It's been at least a year now since I've stopped drinking coffee.
Damn.
And so I don't have any reason to go to Tim Hortons, but I didn't drink coffee from Tim Hortons anyway. Because
I was going to quit coffee because I was trying to lose weight.
Am I allowed to mention Tim Hortons on a thing? I can think like whatever. Anyway, can I say Tim Hortons sucks? Their coffee is shit.
It's your opinion.
Okay, my opinion is there's shit. McDonald's is the better coffee. That was always my go-to.
Well, McDonald's coffee is the old Tim Hortons coffee.
That's what I've heard. Somebody's told me that before.
It's a true story.
And yeah, no, when they started switching, they're by far better, I think. I don't know what it is about Tim Hortons coffee. I don't like it at all. I consider
so many times quitting coffee to just lose weight. Because I'm like a...
You know what?
I'm a somewhere between a 3 and 4 coffee a day guy. But now that you've told me you've quit coffee for a year, and I might give it quit coffee. Fuck that. I ain't going to lose any weight.
Motherfucker. You're supposed to be the sound guy. You should have had one of those. He's going to hit anything now. What did you hit?
Denied.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, it didn't do anything for weight for me, man. But
you know what it is? So I think it's the sugar. I don't think it's the coffee itself.
Now I drank my coffee's black. I just drank it black.
Oh.
And so, like,
that's how Sabrina.
No cream, no sugar, nothing, just black coffee. It's been about a year now, but it took me about a good 3 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer. I had a headache every day, and it was horrible every day. Actually, I'm going to ask you a question now. Even we're still on the pod and whatever, but the setup for us. Would you find it more comfortable sitting across from me like that, or here that?
So I can stare into your eyes.
Yeah. Well, because I've got the neck crank all the time too, right?
Yeah.
Because we got to get one more camera. So Thursday's podcast, we're going to do Thursdays, right? We're going to do, what do we do?
On Thursday,
an NFL.
We're doing the NFL kickoff before the season starts at 8:20, where Kansas City will be hosting the Houston Texans.
You know what? Hopefully I can, if we do an early enough podcast, I can have an up and going before even halftime happens.
That'd be great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'll have you here to push me anyway.
But you know what? I'm good with whatever setup you want.
Well, I was just thinking, like, if we were looking at each other, whether it be there or here or whatever. But I obviously
suspend me from the ceiling.
I'd suspend you from the fucking roof.
Oh, that's okay. You know I'm afraid of heights.
What'd you do today? Anything? Work? Did you work today?
I did. I worked. Long weekend's over. Back to work and back to the grind.
It was a long weekend. See, I keep forgetting.
How was your long weekend, man?
It was nice. We didn't do a heck of a lot. I'm trying to think what we did now. We didn't do a heck of a lot. No. I think Melanie stayed mostly home for this weekend. We're always on the go anyway. We're going, we're getting the trailer ready. What is the 20th? We're going to spend the next month and a half at Darlington.
Oh, nice.
And I'm just going to travel back and forth here for working on the pod and stuff, which would be nice. But I actually thought of maybe even doing the pod from the campsite.
Cool.
That would be pretty fun.
That could be fun.
That
could be fun.
That's the one that you bring Sabrina and stay and we have a fire afterwards.
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
we're going to do that.
We'll be down for that.
We'll do that.
That'd be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. But
I finally cleaned the garage.
Are you gonna do the man cave?
Well, it's cleaned out now.
Did you get the go ahead?
Well, I have the go ahead.
Sabrina already gave you the go ahead too.
Yeah, she says do what you want.
Sweet.
But I built a workbench and we cleaned
Sabrina's
everything else.
Normally a good woman.
You know what?
Normally, most of the time she's a bitch.
Because she's a Bills fan.
Yeah, because she's a Bills fan. She knew that as soon as I said it. But I still love you.
I don't deserve her. I don't even know. I don't know why she puts up with me and sticks around.
You know what, brother?
You know, I won't complain.
None of us men deserve any of our women.
No.
We don't
Not at all. I don't deserve her.
Melanie is a fucking saint, man. the amount of shit that she puts up. I think the other day I was like, fuck, man. I was lying in bed and she was there. She was sleeping and I came up to bed. It was like 12 o'clock and she has my pills all lined up in the morning for me. She puts, most of the time, she'll put water in my machine because I got sleep at. Yeah, I'm fucking a wreck, man. And so I'm like thinking, all the shit she does for me. And
where do you get your masks and stuff from?
I don't know, someplace in Oshawa. I know, that's what Sabrina does, right?
You talk to Sabrina about that?
I should ask Sabrina anyway, because do you know what it is to get a mask, a new sleep at mask? Like how many years you're allowed to have one?
Yeah, man, that shit gets dirty. It's filthy. It's got bacteria.
Yeah, I know. No, but I'm talking about the actual machine. How many machines can you get? It's not just fucking one for life.
No.
Like it's been at least 6-7 years for me. I'm thinking, fuck, I gotta be due a machine now.
No, talk to Sabrina about it.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to her. So if she'll talk to me, I'm a Steelers fan, so she might not talk to me.
Well, you've bashed her pretty big and publicly too, may I add. Sabrina, I am too a Steelers fan, but I do not share the same opinions. Hopefully, the locks are fucking changed by the time I get home tonight.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, it's not live. I won't air it until after you get home.
Perfect.
You'll be fine.
Hopefully, the locks won't be changed when I get home from work tomorrow.
Get us back to Bank One there, buddy. And I think we've had a pretty good party this evening. What do you think?
I think I'm gonna bring her home.
Yeah, all right, bud. Hey, listen, everyone. If you're watching, please hit that like and subscribe button. Precious Chong, thank you so much for joining us. We had we had a blast. I can't even talk tonight, man. No, I don't even know what it is.
You're a mess.
I'm always a mess. But anyway, had a blast. Hey, everybody, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you are watching or listening, hit... Fuck, I'm completely lost.
Hey, just like and subscribe, okay? Just like and subscribe. We got Facebook, we got Instagram.
And what's it at?
TikTok.
What's it at?
Mental Case Dads.
There you go, at Mental Case Dads.
Find us on Apple Music, Spotify, we're everywhere. Check us out.
YouTube.
Tell all your friends.
Podbean.
Be safe.
Tell your friends, tell your girlfriends, tell your wives, your husbands.
That's it. Be safe, be well.
All right, bitches.
Later.
Peace out.